The steady hum of fluorescent lights filled the corridor as Emily Carter leaned against the nurse's station, sipping lukewarm coffee to stay awake. The clock above the wall read 5:47 p.m., still 2 hours until her shift ended. Her back ached, her feet burned, but she forced a smile when another patient called her name. Being a nurse wasn't easy, but Emily had chosen this life for a reason. At 24, she was already used to long shifts, unpredictable emergencies, and sleepless nights. Her father's old garage barely made enough to pay rent, and her younger sister, Lily, was still in college. So Emily worked double shifts, took extra patients, and saved every penny she could. Her hair was always tied in a neat bun, her uniform clean but faded, and her shoes worn thin from years of running between rooms. Yet no one could ever say she wasn't dedicated. It had been raining since morning, the kind of cold drizzle that soaked through everything. Between patients, Emily decided to grab a sandwich from the cafeteria. As she stepped out into the hospital lobby, she noticed an old woman standing just outside the glass doors, gripping the railing as if the world was spinning. Emily frowned. The woman looked fragile, her face pale, her silver hair tucked under a scarf. She wore a simple beige coat, but there was something elegant about the way she carried herself. Emily rushed over without hesitation. "Ma'am, are you okay?" she asked gently, placing a steadying hand on the woman's shoulder. The woman blinked, looking disoriented. I think I just need a moment. I haven't eaten all day. Foolish of me to walk in the rain." Before Emily could respond, the woman's knees gave way. Acting purely on instinct, Emily caught her, guiding her slowly down to a nearby bench. Hey, don't worry," Emily said softly, supporting her back. "You're safe. Just breathe." The woman's skin was cool and clammy. Emily quickly took her pulse, faint but steady. She sprinted to the reception desk, grabbed a bottle of water and a few crackers from her lunch bag, then hurried back. "Here, please drink this," she urged, helping the woman take small sips. After a few minutes, some color returned to her face. The woman smiled faintly, though her hands still trembled. "You're very kind, dear. I'm sorry to trouble you." "It's no trouble at all," Emily replied. "You should be resting, not out in this weather." The woman chuckled softly. "You sound like my son. Always worrying, but he's so busy, I didn't want to bother him." Emily smiled, sensing affection behind those words. "Well, I'm sure he worries for a reason. Do you live nearby?" "Yes, just a few blocks away," the woman said, her voice steadier now. Emily hesitated. "I can call someone for you, or maybe a cab. I don't feel right letting you go alone." The woman's eyes softened with gratitude. "You have such a good heart. But really, I'll be fine." She reached into her bag, pulled out a small embroidered handkerchief, and handed it to Emily. "Please, take this. Just a small thank you." Emily shook her head quickly. "Oh, you don't need to. I insist," the woman said, smiling. "Kindness should be remembered." Emily accepted it hesitantly. The cloth was delicate, white linen stitched with gold thread. The initials E.V. glimmered in the corner. Before Emily could ask her name, the woman stood, steadied herself, and gave her a soft nod. "Thank you, Emily. You're a rare soul." Emily blinked in surprise. "Wait, how did you?" But the woman was already walking away, her figure disappearing into the misty drizzle outside. That evening, Emily tucked the handkerchief into her pocket and went back to work. She couldn't stop thinking about the old lady's gentle voice and warm smile. There had been something refined about her, a quiet grace that didn't match her simple appearance. Still, Emily brushed it off. People came and went every day in a hospital. The next morning, she was back early for another shift. Sleep-deprived but alert, she began her rounds until a message crackled through the intercom. "Nurse Carter, report to the VIP wing immediately." Emily froze. The VIP wing? That was reserved for high-profile patients, politicians, celebrities, wealthy businesspeople. She'd never been called there before. When she arrived, the head nurse, Mrs. Nolan, handed her a file. "We're short-staffed, Carter. Room 501. The patient's stable but needs close monitoring. Be careful, the family's influential." Emily nodded nervously and entered the elevator. The VIP floor was a world apart, quiet, polished, and filled with the faint scent of lavender instead of antiseptic. She took a breath, adjusted her badge, and knocked softly before entering room 501. When she saw who was lying in the bed, she froze. It was the same old woman from yesterday. Her face was paler now, Her hair spread across the pillow, an oxygen tube gently running across her nose. But those same kind eyes lit up when they met Emily's. "You," the woman whispered, her lips curving into a faint smile. "My kind nurse." Emily blinked in disbelief. "You're Mrs. V?" she asked, remembering the initials on the handkerchief. The woman nodded weakly. "Eleanor Vaughn." Before Emily could say anything, the door opened, and a tall man in a dark gray suit stepped in. His presence filled the room, broad shoulders, sharp jaw, and eyes like cold steel. "Mother, how are you feeling?" he asked, walking briskly toward the bed. Then he noticed Emily standing there, her chart in hand, and frowned. "Who's this?" Emily straightened, her voice calm. "I'm Nurse Emily Carter. I've been assigned to your mother's care." He glanced her over briefly, his tone clipped. "Are you new here?" "No, sir," Emily replied quietly. "I was with her yesterday when she fainted near the entrance." Eleanor chuckled softly, her voice weak but amused. "Ethan, this is the young lady I told you about. She helped me when I collapsed. Wouldn't let me go until I was safe." Ethan Vaughn's eyes widened. He turned to Emily, his expression shifting from suspicion to something softer. "That was you." Emily nodded modestly. "I just did what anyone should do." His mother smiled knowingly. "You keep saying that, dear. But not everyone would stop. Many just walk by." Ethan looked at her for a long moment. He was used to people pretending to care, to those who wanted something from him because of his last name. But this young nurse had helped his mother without even knowing who she was. There was no flattery, no hidden motive, just genuine kindness. "Thank you," he said finally, his voice low, sincere. "For helping her." Emily blushed slightly. "I'm just glad she's all right." Eleanor reached for Emily's hand. "You have a good soul, Emily. It's been a long time since I met someone like you." Emily smiled, her heart warm. "You just need to rest now, Mrs. Vaughn. I'll make sure you're well taken care of." As Emily checked the IV and adjusted the blanket, Ethan stood silently by the window, watching her. There was something about her calm presence that filled the room with peace. When Emily finally left, she turned back one last time. Eleanor was smiling softly, eyes closed, hand resting over the same gold-ringed finger Emily had noticed before. Outside the room, Ethan watched through the glass panel as Emily walked down the hall. For years, he had lived surrounded by wealth and ambition, in a world where kindness was often traded like currency. But that young nurse had reminded him of something he'd almost forgotten: human decency. He found himself wondering about her, where she came from, why she worked so hard, and how someone with so little could still give so much. And as the rain began to fall again against the window, Ethan Vaughn, the billionaire CEO who thought he'd seen everything, realized that this humble nurse might just change his world in ways he couldn't yet understand.